What's going on, everybody? Investor Springs coming back to you with another video. Real quick, for week 3's results, I just wanted to go through and give you guys a overall review of week 3. I want to break down my categories that I used for a new tracking measure I did, and after that, give you guys some gems and wrap it up. So as we get into this video, before we start, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please help me by doing that, showing support by hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the notifications bell so you're notified when I get new videos pushed out to you guys. And if these videos are of good value to you, make sure you hit that thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Let's get on to the video. So week 3 was really good. I wanted to give you guys a general overview. For this week, I've spoken to Mrs. Investor Springs about what I wanted to do for this video, and she gave me some really good tips that I want to give to you guys. First things first is she wanted me to be more specific on my analysis of my week. So I'm going to break down to you guys exactly day by day what my results were. Please keep in mind, Friday and Saturday this week, I did not make any calls. We actually had an inbound friend who's in the Navy move in as a roommate, and we adjusted our place to kind of make it more organized for his arrival and stuff like that. So it took away from my Friday and Saturday, but I look forward to going into next week for week 4 and getting some better results. With this new strategy, what I did was kind of going off of the Mojo Dollar. I took some of the categories it lets you use for call results, where you can choose what type of call that ended up being, and I put it on paper and I changed up my categories so I can give you guys more accurate numbers of what my call results were for certain categories. For example, here are the following categories I use that I recommend you guys use if you aren't able to use Mojo Dollar. If you're using Excel, if you're using pen and paper and you're trying to come up with ways to track it, here are some trackable measures I definitely recommend you guys to use. My categories are interactions, leads, no's, no answers, hang-ups, bad numbers, and voicemails. So with those 7 categories, let me break them down a little bit more in depth so you guys understand exactly how I tracked each category. Interactions. When I went through my intro of introducing who I am, what I want, and what I'm asking for, just getting them to the point of, are you interested in selling your property? Just for me to get to that point where they answer back to me yes or no is considered an interaction to me. So for every time you hear my interaction numbers, that's when I got to that potential question. Leads is if they said yes, no's is if they said no, no answers was if they were unreachable, hang-ups we all have been hung up on, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Bad numbers is if it was somebody else that answered or another business that had no connection to that contact. Voicemails, we've left voicemails at least once, but for me it's whether it was a personal voicemail or pre-recorded through Mojo Dollar. That's where I track that. So keep in mind as I give you guys my results, this is going back to week 1 and week 2 and going into this week 3. Keep in mind, I pulled my list from PropStream. The list I pulled was a vacant list, absentee owners that were in-state or out-of-state, and they owned 50% or more equity in the property. So this was for Hampton Roads. And for the list, it was at least 1,600 contacts that I pulled. Of that list from PropStream that I pulled, I put it into TurboSkip to get skip traced. And skip trace is pretty much finding the numbers for those contacts. And the service I used provided up to 6 phone numbers per contact. So with that, I had 6 opportunities to reach out to one person. That did a big variation on my results that might be different for your results, from your results. So if you're going into week 1 and let's say you have 1 number per contact, or you're using sites and services like True People Search who have free services, they might provide 1 or 2 numbers per contact. Your results can turn out to be a lot better or a lot more challenging, just depending on that. But at least for me, there was more time consumed in reaching out to potential contacts where I didn't meet my goals every week as I wish. I did exceed and I did show progress, but it wasn't on the level of the blueprint. Whereas if I restart this challenge after I get through all my leads or potential motivated sellers, I'll be able to track it a little better. So just keep that in mind as you hear the results. And the results are as follows. Monday, August 31st, I had 30 interactions, 4 leads, 19 no's, 32 no answers, 6 hang-ups, 47 bad numbers, and 51 voicemails. Total calls are 541. Tuesday, September 1st, I had 4 interactions, 0 leads, 3 no's, 3 no answers, 0 hang-ups, 12 bad numbers, and 12 voicemails. Total calls 87. Wednesday, September 2nd, I had 10 interactions, 1 lead, 7 no's, 15 no answers, 6 hang-ups, 45 bad numbers, and 53 voicemails. Total calls 473. September 3rd, I had 16 interactions, 2 leads, 13 no's, 19 no answers, 3 hang-ups, 47 bad numbers, and 29 voicemails. Total calls 394. All calls Monday through Wednesday were in the ranges of 8 to 12, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And September 3rd on Thursday, I did my calls from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Friday and Saturday, there are no results because, like I stated, we had an inbound sailor who moved in as a roommate, and we adjusted our property for him to be able to move in. Week 3 totaling out, the call-in time was about 10 hours total. My interactions were 60, 1,495 total calls, 52 total no's, 7 leads, 15 hang-ups, 69 no answers, 151 bad numbers, and 145 voicemails. So, if you enjoyed the way those results were given to you, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments so I can make sure week 4 I format it to be introduced the same way as this. I hope this provided value to you. Just know your results may vary, and at the same time, depending on the number of numbers you have, it can change the way your numbers may pop up in terms of interactions and whatnot. This is at least how I did it. So, with that being said, if you have questions concerning my results, drop them in the comments. I'll get to them as soon as I can, and I'd love to have this conversation. At least not to hold the video too long. Let me get into the gems for you guys. Gems I wanted to give you guys, the 3 biggest ones. First one is the discipline. It takes a lot of discipline to do anything that you put your mind to, right? You have to be focused. Discipline to me is when you set your mind to something, and whether you want to do it or not, you do it anyway. So for you guys, the biggest gem I want to give you guys is make sure you stay disciplined when it comes to putting your mind to something such as marketing and going into cold calling. Like I stated last week, it is a beast, but you are a beast. And with the mindset you have, if I can do this, you can definitely do this. The second thing is consistency. Friday and Saturday, I made no calls. I'm a bad example of consistency, but at the same time, I am a good example because I'm in week 3 of a 4-week project I'm doing to challenge myself to become a better person. My first deal was closed on October 4th, 2018, and that deal was put under contract August 14th, 2018. And I had surgeries going on. It was a lot of overwhelming things going on in the Navy that led that deal, that was going on during that deal. And from that point to my first deal up until now, it's been an on and off relationship with wholesaling. And I put my mindset to it to really follow through with this challenge. And going into week 4, I am potentially showing my progress where I know I may have to redo this challenge, but at the same time, I am in a way better progression rate than I am than when I was throughout these 2 years of kind of doing it and maybe doing it. My first deal that I got, I was cold calling about 25 numbers a day. I had about 3 numbers per contact. I went through an Excel sheet list that I built, and at least for that list, I did 25 calls a day. It took me about 2.5 weeks to find my lead that I finally had an appointment on that got signed under contract August 14th, 2018. So I know if I did it with 25 calls a day and it was very unorganized with no structure, and now I created my structure and all I need is my discipline and consistency, my deal is going to come a lot better. And multiple deals have the potential to show up. With that being said, I wanted to give you guys a quick story. Pretty much I made a phone call to a contact on August 31st, on Monday last week, and a specific seller had told me they already had the property under contract 2 days before I called them, and it was set to close on the 29th of this month. And I was so mad at myself because I figured, what if I would have stayed consistent or disciplined enough to have made as many calls as I could have on week 1 or week 2? I would have got that under contract. So potentially, if you guys are feeling that discouragement towards making your calls, push through it because your next call can be the one. I felt so mad at myself on Monday for that I had to try to put in my work for the rest of this week. Going into this next week, I'm going to be completely done with my list of a 1-week scrub through, where I'm going to be going back through it a second time, and that one will be a lot faster. I've narrowed down a lot of numbers, so I definitely appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Those are my results. Make sure you subscribe and hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Turn on the bell so you can get notifications for future videos. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me, and until the next video, peace. This is Investor Springs.